So when I was about 8 years old, my grandmother died. Uh, when she was about to die, she said she pulled me into the hospital bedroom, and I don't know if she knew that she was gonna die or whatever the case was, but I remember she told me um, that I shouldn't let a mad world tell me how I should act or should let it define me, because in many instances they will. And that she also told me that I should also not let a past define me, because all that we really have is now. And I feel like sometimes we take that for granted. So when she told me that, I was very surprised, because I really didn't know what I meant. And when you're so young, you don't really understand. You have this innocent perspective of the world that you don't really think that there's anything out there to hurt you. So at such a young age, it really did change my perspective on life, because at such a young age, I was able to realize that, life isn't always beautiful, and it probably will not be. So it really did make me critically think at such a young age what's potentially ahead of me. So when I was younger, yeah, I did have a lot of struggles. I struggled primarily with my parents. My parents never really supported me growing up. So growing up, you would expect to have a guiding figure or figures, and who better than your parents. But I never really had that. So every single time I would have a problem, I would have to try and solve it on my own, and I didn't really have anyone to talk to, because if I didn't trust my parents, I couldn't really trust teachers. I couldn't really trust friends, and due to that, I felt like I missed out on a lot of opportunities, and I suffered a lot more than I thought that I have to. The one advice I would give to my younger self is don't give up. It does get better. There's going to be a lot of rough patches, and along with those rough patches, there's going to be a lot of good things that come out of them, a lot of good lessons learned, and definitely would tell myself that without those lessons, you would not be the person you are today. There's a lot of things that strive me to be a better person. Definitely opportunity, knowing that there's a bigger and better opportunity and life quality out there than what was given to me, as a kid. Also knowing that I have younger generations, such as my brother and other friends as well, that they look up to me. So I really do want to be a positive role model for them, and that really does drive me, because I definitely do try not to let not only them down, but not let myself down as well. So kind of going back to my parents, when I feel like giving up, uh, going back to my parents, I think of them because growing up, they would always tell me that I was not college material. I was not school material. They would always tell me that I should just do what a woman was meant to do, and just get pregnant, and that really does keep me going, because it makes me think that I work so hard that I'm not just gonna give up and give in to they just what they had put me out to be. So that really does, because I want to prove them wrong. I want to prove myself that I'm good enough. I want to also set a good example for other young ladies my age, even for younger generations that may not have the best role models at home or anywhere. um, there's a lot of people that I don't want to let down, but primarily the group of people or the people who believe in me, which are like the handful that really do see the potential that I have. And I really don't want, them to feel disappointed because I know that they really do put effort into supporting my goals, and that's one thing that I definitely don't want to do and let them down. I feel like the people who don't meet their goals are the ones who don't really follow what they truly want to do. I feel like they let themselves get influenced a lot by other people, and they let them tell them what they should view as important. And I feel like that's one big mistake that a lot of, not only young people do, but also adults do. And they let other people tell them what should be important to them. I feel like we ourselves should place our priorities straight and not let other people do it for us. Because when that happens, I feel like people they lose interest and they don't have any drive because they're not doing what they want to do. They're doing what other people are telling them to do. I take failure in try to take failure in a positive way, just because that I know that throughout my life with every failure, I know that there was something that good that came out of it, whether it was like a lesson learned, or maybe if it was whether like a blessing in disguise, like maybe that opportunity or maybe that decision would have maybe not turned out the best if it would have came out the other way around instead of the way it came out. So I take failure as a learning lesson. When people have a strong and steady mindset, I feel like they believe that what they're doing is what they are meant to be doing. So they believe in the cause and they believe in all like the means that they have to do to get to where they want to be. And that's one thing that's really important in order to achieve your goals, but not many people actually do. So one of my biggest accomplishments, I guess, yeah, was graduating from Fullerton College. Um, so I felt really happy, I felt really relieved just because I had so much going against me, like I didn't have a supportive household. I would come home after working like an 8-10 hour shift, and I would come home to a chaotic household where my parents were constantly yelling at each other, where something was always wrong. Uh, and then also, I mean, having to work full time, and along with going to school full time. And although I didn't really realize all the work that I had been doing during, it really did come into a realization after I graduated. And it made me realize that I'm able and I'm capable of doing so much more. Uh, I don't plan to just stop my education um, just after receiving my AA. I also plan to get my bachelor's degree in public administration, or hoping to get even my master's in public administration, and taking that education and using it to benefit my community, working for a government agency, whether if it's in education or whether if it's, um, working with foster youth, or, just working definitely with our youth, and giving back to what I didn't really know was available when I was a kid. And definitely giving back to the community that gave so much back to me, and giving them by taking the opportunities that I've been given. Like I said before, there's been a lot of struggles that did shape me, a lot of situations that did make me realize a lot about how this society and how this world is, both good and bad. And I'm happy about the person that I am today despite all of that. And I think that if I had the chance to go back and change any of it, I think that I would most likely let myself go through it all over again. Just because I know that without any of like the hardships that I had, I don't think I'd be the person that I am today. I don't think um, I'd I'd have the same mindset. I don't think I'd have the same drive um, towards my educational goals, or maybe I would just take more things that I cherish so much for granted if I didn't go through those hardships. So yeah, I am happy with the person that I am today.